Update. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that if he doesn't like the way I parent his kid, he should give her to her alcoholic mother? Original post. I'm not someone who has ever wanted kids to start with. I knew I was unable to have children from a very young age due to a medical condition, and made peace with this long ago, and it wasn't difficult for me too. I have been married to my husband for 3 years now, and absolutely adore his daughter. She's literal ray of sunshine joy. And he has been honest with me from day one that his daughter will always be his first priority, something that I actually admired about him. I also understood that he will never be able to leave her with her mother because she has a drinking problem that can lead to violence. However, recently he started being very judgmental of everything me and his daughter do together. His daughter is now 7 years old and a few months ago fell during practice and fractured her arm. He was very worried about her, and I was too, but he has always been very protective of her. When I told him that he should relax, she'll be all right, and that he can't control every aspect of her life as a way to comfort him, he told me that he'll never be someone like my father, something that really hurt me, but I let it slide. After this incident, he started throwing comments here and there about how I'm being careless with her, or how I'm not fit to be around her, or how I sometimes act so childish with her. A few days ago, I was going to pick her up from school, but I was 15 minutes late due to a hold-up at work, while he was out on a business trip. I felt that she was upset about waiting this long because she never had to wait this long before, but she didn't complain. I just felt it. She was not as upbeat as she usually was, so I decided to cancel my plans for the weekend and spend some time with her, with a promise that all studies will be done on Sunday, which almost always was the usual case. We had a what she called girls only day till dad comes home. Went shopping, ate out, had a Disney marathon, and spent some time by the backyard pool. That was over the course of 2 days till my husband came back home. I told him what we did over the few days he was away, which I have of course mentioned over the phone when we talked, or his daughter mentioned when he called her. Though his reaction was not what I expected one bit. His first words to me was, "Do you think you can be a proper mother figure for once in your life?" A sentence that till now still bothers me and echoes in my head. We had a big argument, which ended with me saying that if he doesn't see me as a proper mother figure to his daughter, he should send her to live with her real mother. I still feel bad about saying this, and I know that it will upset me to no end if he actually separated her from me, because I have honestly grown very attached to her. Though still, I do not know if there is something I am not seeing, or if there is something I fail to understand. Maybe I do not have the instinct to mother a child, or I am not seeing it as big of a responsibility as it should be. I just do not understand. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the update. What exactly does he expect you to do? Bark orders at her and then ignore her half the day? You're interacting with her. You two are close. You do fun things with her. And he's acting like you're not doing it right? Tell him to shut the heck up and kick rocks if he doesn't like how you interact with your stepdaughter. There are 2 comments he made that would have me having a talk with him. Now, he said she wasn't fit to be a parent. And then when are you going to start being a proper mother figure for once in your life, or something close to that? Those are some serious, almost accusation-like comments. He's insinuating something. You would think he'd be overjoyed that his new wife accepts and loves his daughter and spends quality time with her. Not the a-hole. I think couples counseling would help, as blended family can be complicated with lots of different feelings that can be hard to sort through. My gut feeling is that he's somehow jealous of your close relationship with her. Maybe he always had a distant relationship with his own parents and feels threatened by your close bond with his daughter, as it's not how he's been raised. As always, communication is going to be needed to fix this. We both did not have the best relationships with our parents, which led to not having a parental figure to look up to. He was too attached to his father, but his father was always away, while his mother was always absent to their emotional needs, or that's what I understood from how he used to describe her to me. For me, my father was more of the parent to spoil so you love him, even if it's at the expense of your own good. Eventually he left when I was in my late teens and rarely called every now and then because he cares. All this led me to be really hateful towards my dad and close to my mother, even struggling financially for a while because he was really well off and refused to send me any money at a time. So maybe he's scared that he'll repeat the circle or something. It's really exhausting to try and figure him out at this moment, when all he seems to do is just criticize everything I do. He's already perpetuating the cycle. I would have done anything for a stepmom like you. My stepmother was too young to have a 1-year-old daughter, so she followed my narc father's lead a lot. It was super messed up. Now for the update. First of all, thanks for everyone who commented and tried to help me with any insight about this. I really appreciate it. This turned to be more of a rant than expected, so sorry in advance. So the issue with his daughter has actually not been about the way I am with her, but a totally different thing. In short, he is not cheating on me, but he thinks I might have cheated on him. There was someone in his ears, and it's his mother. Apparently, mother-in-law didn't like me from day one, and I was stupidly oblivious to how deep it ran. Yes, a part of me did not allow myself to be fully relaxed around her, and I was kind of on guard because she was excessively nice at times, but I never imagined her dislike ran this deep. It was normal for her to call me names behind my back, say I'm not on their level, tell my husband that I'm using him for his money, even though till his latest promotion, I was making more than him, and he always joked to mention in front of his family that I was the breadwinner. Now it makes sense why. Also, I was told that whenever my husband stood up for me, her response was, "It's not like she'll be the mother of my grandchild one day." It kind of makes sense now why she had a whole hissy fit when I miscarried the first year of my marriage, as I never went into details about my medical condition with her. I just mentioned I couldn't have a child on my own. Another thing was last year's Mother's Day. My stepdaughter asked her grandma if she can get a gift to Mom. She refers to me by my first name, and never have I heard her call me Mom. Her grandmother went on to explain that she should never call me Mom, because I'm not her actual mother. I'm just Mila. This last thing specifically I fully believe, because I remember it being around the time that my husband asked me, how would I feel if his daughter referred to me as Mom? Her latest scenario is telling everyone that it's suspicious, how sometimes I ask her to babysit my stepdaughter for a bit after school, even though I'm working from home, despite the fact that I stole her time with her grandchild. Yes, there was a couple of months I was so busy with a project that even watching over her while I worked from home was not even an option. I can only imagine, how did she twist this? I knew all of this from his brother's wife when she called me about a few hours ago because she knew I left home and I'm staying with my mom for a while. In her opinion, I should not give mother-in-law the satisfaction of sabotaging my marriage. I left home after we tried to have a decent conversation about what he viewed was problematic of last weekend. The conversation started great, but ended horribly with him asking if I want a divorce, because I'm not satisfied or happy with marrying him. After all of this, and as of now, I'm starting to think if it is all worth it. To be honest, if I knew from day one that mother-in-law talked about me like this, I wouldn't have gone through with a marriage, or even a relationship to start with. I feel like I was lied to in a way. I also do not understand why did my husband not talk to me about any of this. If it's his way of keeping peace between me and his mother, then it's not appreciated. I'm almost tempted to just call him and tell him that it's either he cuts his mother off from our marriage, or at the very least expect me to not have any relationship with her, or everyone should go on their separate way. My mind is currently working on overdrive, and I probably won't be able to even talk to him and come up with some sort of solution till my feelings are not clouding my thought pattern. You never mentioned what mother-in-law said to make him allegedly believe you had cheated. Did he accuse you of that? It's never clarified. Honestly, it seems like his excuse for his treatment of you is some made-up BS about mother-in-law, as if he's not responsible for believing her lies and not talking to you about any of it. Asking, do you want to divorce me, is honestly a pretty big red flag. It's like him saying, I'm pretty much done, but I want to make you be the one to say it's over. What I know about what his mother is saying is all from his brother's wife. So she told me what she knew, because apparently his mother has done something similar at the beginning of her marriage too. So from what she knows and I understood is that, mother-in-law always threw around how I'm probably unfaithful, because I get bored fast and have no discipline. I do admit that I never held a job for more than a couple of years, because I get bored and shifted careers a lot. But that's my career, and I won't have anyone who knows nothing about my work judge that. As for the working from home, I'm working in an advertising agency and I mostly am responsible for the part of branding for startups. So having a one-on-one meeting with a client at my home office is suspicious for her, specifically if I'm sending the little girl away to her. My husband never straight up accused me of cheating, but our last conversation he asked questions like, why are you always sending my little girl to my mom all of a sudden if you are the one that offered she can stay with you? What changed? Or what's up with a sudden change of clothing style? Or since when do you get hold-ups at work? Though recently started wanting to know in specific who is the client that I was with, something I thought was fine because the house is also his private space too. By specific, I mean like name and how did it go and such. If all is true, it does hurt that he would believe his mother's lies and made up stories than just talk. I'd rather be hurt that he tells me what his mother thinks of me than have him try to throw mean comments about something irrelevant to his actual worries in an attempt to escape having a conversation about the real issue. You should post this as an edit. Lots of good background info. Legit question. Why are you meeting clients at home instead of grabbing your laptop and heading to Starbucks or the office or something? That could be potentially dangerous, and I personally would 1000% not be happy about that. Unless you could convince me that you couldn't fit what you need for a meeting in a bag, and you owned and were trained in tactical self-defense shooting, or at least a purple or brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Honestly, I haven't thought about it being dangerous, as the first initial meeting with a client is usually done in office by another department, so in my head it sounded safe. Though my only problem was that I didn't like someone I don't know to walk through the interior of my house till we reached my office. So I had a door leading from the side of the backyard straight to my office. It may have been careless of me now that I think about it, that I may have failed to see the potential danger, but I didn't have my husband or anyone really say anything about it. The way I looked at it was that it's more convenient for me as the office is an hour's drive. I also do not like working in a cafe or something, so the option didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I would absolutely ask that. Why isn't he telling you? Why is he lying by omission? Does he actually think you're cheating? Does he want you to be a mom figure in his kid's life? If the answers are no, then does he want a divorce? Because he can't have it both ways. He can't let his mom talk trash and then hide it and get mad at you for being there for his kid. Sounds like he's projecting and he's the one who's not happy here. Which is fine, but like he needs to be a big boy and own that if that's the case. What a hot mess. His own mother is doing this. Why are some mothers like this? It's sick. He's married to his mama, and this is what these boys do in those situations. They will drift from woman to woman and never figure out that they and their lack of backbone are the actual issue. Because mommy spends her life in a "my son is perfect" circle jerk, and this satiates his frail ego. Last story. Am I the a-hole for pointing out to my wife, 30 female, that she never had a job before? So I, 35 male, and my wife, 30 female, got married about 6 months ago. We were just hanging out with a few friends today, most are newly married couples too. I was talking with them about how finance has been a bit tight lately since I'm the sole earner in our family. Living cost has been more than doubled since I was single, while there's no additional income. We also recently put down our down payment to our house, so expenses are higher than ever. Anyways, we were trying to cut down some other expenses. We recently calculated our grocery spending average, which comes to about $1,000 a month. So I was trying to get advice from my friends on how to cut it back. We got a few different feedback, from buy this item at a different store to it's okay to spend more on groceries, but try to cut back on other expenses. My wife, whose cooking is her hobby and pretty much what she's doing all day, was very supportive with the idea of keeping or increasing the current grocery budget, which I think is already too high for just 2 people. I pointed out to her how it may not be feasible for us to keep the current spending, let alone increase it. I emphasized to her that working a full-time job to earn money for the family is not easy. She's 30 years old, but she never had any job experience. She has lived her entire life under her parents' roof and had all her expenses managed by her parents until we got married 6 months ago. I told her again that now we are married, things will have to change for both of us. She got visibly quiet after I said this, and my friends quickly tried to change the conversation topic. At that point, I realized I might had hit a nerve with my words, even if technically I'm not saying anything wrong. Am I the a-hole for saying this? Edit. I didn't expect this post to receive this many comments. Whether you're saying not the a-hole or you're the a-hole, I respect all your feedback and opinion. Keep them coming. For everyone asking on more clarification, we do live in a very high cost of living area, Peninsula Bay Area, so everything is very expensive here. $1,000 per month grocery spending is just for groceries, but that's not all of our food spending. We cook for 5 to 6 days of meal per week and eat out 2 to 4 times a week. Our restaurant spending comes to an additional $400 to $500 per month. Why my wife never had a job before, as some of you have guessed, is because of the family upbringing. Their family values are basically men work and earn money, while women stay at home, do household chores, and raise children. My wife's sisters, mother, and her closest female cousins, as far as I know, none of them ever had a real job before. Isn't that a conversation you should have had 6 months ago before you got married? Makes me wonder what else you did not discuss. I agree with you that a stay-at-home is a huge financial burden, but not like she quit her job. And maybe have a conversation like that in private, not in front of an audience. Yeah, this would have been awful for everyone involved. It's wild that you would have this conversation with your friends and not before you were married. It's also wild that you're spending $1,000 a month on groceries for 2 people. You married a princess. Yeah, I don't think Opie realizes it either. She's a queen now, and he is asking her to work. I doubt her mother worked, and I doubt her father asked her to work. And if they ever get divorced, even without kids, he will be 100% supporting her through alimony payments forever, unless she somehow gets married again, which most will just live with somebody but not get married just to not give up alimony, unless she catches a bigger fish somehow. But guaranteed big alimony since you married her never having a job or any life skills, and she has continued to not have any job. She would be entitled to maintaining her same lifestyle in most cases after a divorce because you chose to catch a trophy wife, and she can be accepted to stay that way. Very stupid. Should have at least made her get a basic job before the wedding, so you could at least have the argument that she had a job before, so a judge would expect her to still have a job factored into the alimony calculations, versus not having one.